Welcome to Talk Your Culture. I am your host, Chris Fagan, and I have two special guests here today. Two prestige men, athletes, fathers, brothers, sons, coaches of their community. I could go on and on and on about these guys. Once again, I love to do these podcasts. I appreciate all the viewers who come in and watch, and when you see me, you give me great feedback. I hope that the Griffin community can be more acquainted with my face when I arrive, and I can get that same love with these two men coming on the show today. Well, I have one Carl Kearney Jr. and a Willie Roy Puckett. Willie Roy, we don't have no more Willie Roys.
No,
They don't make those no more, do they?
Not no more. Not no more.
Yeah,
That's a dying breed.
I had a guy come in and bring up this thing that Kirk Franklin was talking about when it comes to naming. And he was saying that our future needs to be protected by how we name our kids, right?
Right.
He said we ain't got no more Brendas, no more Sally Mays, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that right there.
Right.
Do you think there is some science to that? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I name my kids weird names, all right? Both my sons, my oldest son name is Seven, and my second son is named Osha, all right? Although they are not the normal names, they're still 5-letter words, all right? I said I'm going to name my children different names, but it's still going to be easy for them to spell.
Right.
Because when we was going to school, all of my friends, the teachers had a hard time pronouncing the name and spelling it. But do you think it's a science to that? How you name people? I mean, your name is Carl. You don't have Carls no more.
It's kind of simple, man. I think, like you said, and when we grew up, our generation, I think for the most part, the parents kind of, kept it a Willie Roy, kept it a Carl, kept it simple. But now, man, I'm a teacher myself, and some of the names that come across that freaking infinite campus, man, I can't even spell it. I can't even pronounce it. So, I kind of
do you pass a prejudgment based off the name?
I would say not now. Now, 10 years ago, yeah, most definitely. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a little older now, and I'm a teacher too. So, it's not surprising and shocking anymore. It's a different age too, man. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know what I'm saying? Where Kirk Franklin was coming from, I agree to a certain extent. But hey, man, it ain't that time no more.
Okay.
It ain't that time no more.
All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna dig into the people before we get into the coaches, the person, if that's all right. All right, the person. Most people may know you guys as coaches, public figures of the community. The leaders of individual group activities and sports. We just gonna learn a little bit about y'all guys today. So, both of you grew up in Griffin?
no doubt.
Yep.
Same neighborhood?
Not necessarily the same neighborhood.
Well, okay. What year setting was it? And talk about your neighborhood a little bit and how
You want to go first? I want to go first. Hey, I was born on Edgewood. I'm a South Side baby. But I lived on the West Side too, 17th Street too. But born and raised in Griffin, man. Stayed everywhere on the South Side. Spring Hill to be exact. But like I said, I moved to 17th Street at the age of about 11, 12 years old. But even when I moved to this side of town, I still went to my school though, you know what I'm saying? So, but I met Carl at Taylor Street.
Taylor Street, man.
Taylor Street. That's when I met Carl. So, you know what I'm saying? We've been rocking ever since, you know what I'm saying? But born and raised in Griffin, man.
Now, I'm not, of course I'm not from there, but I've heard enough about it. Like, how was it that you was able to, stay away from trouble, weave your way through the neighborhood aspects?
Well, I'm gonna say, younger, of course, my parents, but once I got to high school, Ferris Qualls, yeah, he stopped out there.
Who is that?
He's my high school coach.
Okay.
Rest ago, he passed on. But yeah, man, he was. If we didn't learn anything, we learned discipline and structure. You know what I'm saying? So I owe a lot of that to him. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, because
I love basketball too much. So if it's either his way or you ain't playing. So
yeah.
I love the game so much. I was like, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? So
how about you, Carl?
Kind of the same, man. You know, Coach Qualls, I didn't even play basketball. I came out for like 3 weeks and me laughing because I couldn't even last. But I went out for like 3 weeks, but I still had a great relationship with him, man. No matter what, he saw me in the hallways. He always would, you know, put a bug in my ear, man, about the things that I needed to do, not do. You know, we had coaches like Coach Ross, Coach Ray Nash. Those guys were relentless, man. So, you know, coming up in Griffin, it's a little unique place, man, because we didn't have very many people to come up and, you know, take care of guys like us. But the ones that did, you knew they loved you.
Right.
Now you say his name again?
So which
Say
Ferris Qualls.
Ferris Qualls. Okay,
and
now
like you said, Coach Nash and Coach Ross, they're legends, and if you know you from Griffin, you know who they is.
okay, now y'all are athletes who played. Are these guys a part of the inspiration to how you became teachers?
Ain't no doubt. You know,
Definitely, yeah.
watching what those guys did every single day in the building, you know, all three of them. You know, I look at myself right now as a coach, and I got a little bit of all three of them in me.
Yeah.
You know, the way that I approach, you know, our young black men, the way that I talk to them. You know, I got a strong, tough way of you know, of approaching them, but at the same token, I know how to come back and stroke the guys and, you know, just let them know that Coach Kearney loves them.
Right.
Right. Facts.
Okay. All right. I noticed you said something about your parents. That was one of my questions. What type of impact do you think your parents had on your growth and development?
As far as a person or as an athlete? You know,
Person.
As a person, yeah, my dad was a little older, you know what I'm saying? I'm a junior. So my dad had me when he was 39, 40, you know what I'm saying? So by the coming up, it was different because his era was totally different from my era, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
you know, him being strict, and then, you know, with my mom was a little younger, but, you know, they came from a different era, and they was, you know, it was structure and discipline, you know what I'm saying? But they molded me, you know, values as far as family, discipline, you know, always having good character, making sure your face club was always good, you know what I'm saying? So,
Is that the same with you, Kurt?
No doubt, man. Just as him, man, I was blessed with two parents in the house, and, you know, it was almost oil and water, though, when it came to the parents. My pop was hard, like, when I say hard-nosed, like, we knew not to get it. All of my boys, we were scared of Pop.
Yeah.
They just knew he didn't play the radio. Like, there was no nonsense. If he said be in the house at 9, we had to be in at 9. We had to make sure our grades were up to par, you know. And this is the part that kind of I got picked on and growing up, man. They made sure I went to church on Fridays and Saturdays and stuff like that. Like everybody else still outside hooping, but I'm getting in the car going to church. And, you know, my mom, she was a little Band-Aid. So Pops was the one that was rough around the edges, but Mom always came back and, you know, she softened things up.
Do you have kids?
Yeah, I got 2.
So do you have the same identical parenting qualities, or did you change some of that stuff?
I see myself a little bit of mixture of both, you know, because I want my kids to know that, you know, I'm going to be in their lives, I'm going to love on them, and I'm going to be there for them. And they're going to get that structure from Dad, but I still have to let them know that, you know, just because I'm tough and rough around the edges, I can be a nurturing father too.
Right.
So,
Or a friend.
when necessary, but it's that friend
I know
stuff, man, it's a little hard.
I know that
Mine
it's
are
a
young,
thing.
though, so.
I know that it's a thing that we shouldn't be friends with our kids. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. I'm super tough on my kids, right? I'm like, even with my nephew, I would get ridiculed from people in the city, like, you know, why you so hard on them? You know, I'm raising men.
Right.
You know, I'm not, you know, they little boys, but they only gonna spend 10% of their life as little boys, right? They're gonna spend the rest of their life as men. So I'm raising men, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'll be in everything that they got going on, I wind up being their best friend. Like, I'm my nephew's best friend. You know what I mean? I'm my son's best friend. Although I still chew him up.
right.
You know what I mean? So I don't really know how to feel about that. You know what I mean? Like, we are, like, stuff that they just ain't gonna discuss with everybody else. Talk to me about. You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people won't talk to their parents. They'll talk to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure y'all know that. Some of the kids y'all done coaches probably done said some stuff to y'all they ain't said to their parents. You know what I mean? So I don't really know how to feel about that. So I just think it's cool to still be kind of friends with your
I'm
parents.
50-50 with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't have young men or little boys. I got daughters. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of different. But I feel you on that. Now I was super strict. You know what I'm saying? And they'll tell you I was super strict as far as when they was younger. But as the older they've gotten, you know what I'm saying? You give a little leeway here and there. But,
Okay.
I agree with you though. I don't think I parent nothing like my parents.
Yeah. This is interesting. I graduated in 1999. I like to call us the last of a dying breed.
No
Right?
doubt.
We the last of the 1900s.
Right.
After that's us, it's nothing but millennium kids and what comes with that. So I like to say we the last of a dying breed. Shout out to the class of 1999. I don't care what high school you graduated
No
from.
doubt.
All around the world.
Tell me what do y'all think make that class different?
Well, I'll start off with, for us, we was the first ninth grade integrated into Griffin High School.
Okay.
Before us, it was everybody went to the Spalding High,
Right.
Spalding Junior High. So we was the first ninth grade implemented in Griffin High, and we was the first ninth grade to actually go to high school for all 4 years. So for us, it was big, you know what I'm saying? But as far as,
The
everyone,
first group to actually go to high school all 4 years. So what is a thing for people to not make it all the way through?
no. For us, it was
Building was separate.
They went to the ninth graders went to us junior high.
Oh, okay, I
You know
understand.
what I'm saying?
I see what you're
So,
saying. I
they
see
had
what you're
their own- The
saying.
ninth grade had their own building. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? But
right.
when we came, we was integrated.
All together.
We all
Okay,
together. So we
I
the first
understood.
class, you know.
So that meant something.
Yup.
Yeah, so y'all basically showed everybody else how to do it.
Facts.
Yeah.
And I think the number one thing for me, just looking back on, even to this day, man, our class is so close, man. Like, it's sickening. Like, it's real weird. Like, he can't ask for anything, man, for the basketball team before I utter a word for our football team. Like, our class of 99, they come running.
They show up.
They
Okay.
They
show
show
up.
up.
And,
That's
no
good.
matter what, they keep
That's
in
good.
contact with each other.
That's good
it's really
because,
cool.
man, I hope my class is listening to this because I think we went into high school with like 280 students, ninth grade. We graduated with 52 students. Our graduation was over in 32 minutes.
Oh, nah, we had like 400, 500, man.
See what I'm saying? So when we have a class reunion, it's weird. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't nothing but 52 of us. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty big. Let me see. All right. The best athletes y'all ever seen or played against.
I'm going to start off on that one. So for me, man, I got two, man. I just remember, and I'm not just saying this because he's on this podcast. I just remember, man, going to the parks and just being out there, everybody hooping. And this was the only cat, maybe one or two cats our age, man, that was able to dunk like 6th and 7th grade, man. Like, this dude was skying over everybody in the 6th and 7th grade. And I would always beg Willie to play football, but Willie wasn't done that, man. He was a baller, man. But
That's me.
the other one, man, it'll probably have to be Jonathan Sullivan, man. Like, big boy Jonathan Sullivan, man. Like, those two guys, I'm not lying, not just because they were my classmates and teammates.
Okay, so Southern 99 too?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Man, we super deep.
Oh, okay, then. You?
For me, Sully, still the one he is. Sully is definitely one. Yeah, man, he was a man child.
It was different, man.
He was a man child. We was in 8th grade. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we kind of knew that he was going. We know he was going to be as big, but we knew he was going to be something. You know what I'm saying? And
He come down one summer. We had a basketball tournament, and he brought a team in. I thought he was just like a coach, but he had on a jersey. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he wasn't that bad of a basketball player.
No.
So like, why did he didn't play basketball?
He
He
did.
played.
Oh.
We played, man. The Final 14, we played.
Oh, okay.
He was a hooper, man. He was a point guard too. Like,
Come on, man.
Coming
They
up,
said
coming up,
for
for real.
He can handle the rock.
He can handle that basketball, man. But my second person, man, got to be. I've seen a lot. It's a lot of talent, a lot of people. With, let me say that first. You know what I'm saying? But Josh Pace, man. Yeah, I can't. Josh Pace.
I know that name well.
Yeah,
I know that name well. We definitely spent a lot of practices before playing Griffin on Josh Pace setups. We definitely did.
Yeah,
Trying to figure out how to stop him.
Coming in as a freshman and then doing what he did, you know what I'm saying? Like he showed me how to play basketball.
Okay.
He showed me how to play basketball. So he motivated me too, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely Josh Pace.
Okay. What's the difference between who we were in 1999 in school and who these kids are now?
What angle you want to start from?
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter because for me, like, we didn't have social media, right? So our ability to connect only happened at school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Once we left school, it was a wrap. If we ain't call each other, we ain't know. Like now, you just go on your phone and see what Bonquisha just did.
Well, everybody did.
You see what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
And the unfair part to me, man, just thinking about how hard we struggled doing research papers, you know, all the stuff that we had a hard time with in high school as far as classwork and all that stuff. And then you look at the kids now, they got everything right in front of them. And then
and still don't know nothing.
And they still don't know
They
anything.
still don't know nothing.
That's the part
My son, I said, son, what'd you do at the end of school? He's like, sit in the library. I said, what are you doing in there? He said, I'm just sitting in there. I said, we didn't have phone. When we went to the library, we was walking all up and down aisles looking for a specific book. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to spend all day in there sometimes just to, come up with this stuff. So that would be a good difference. Anything else that seemed to stand out?
I mean, yeah, the social media is the biggest thing, I think. I can only imagine if we had social media coming up. So, you know what I'm saying? I used to get on to them a lot about it, but now I think about it now as if, like, what would happen if we had social media?
I'd probably went to jail for something that I didn't know I could have went to jail for.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But my grandmother used to say something a lot, and I can't quote it exactly, but the older you get, the smarter you get,
right.
The weaker you get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they're super smart, man. I see 3-year-olds picking up tablets.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to be measured by who you used to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't the total package. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. That is I would say, a big difference to me. Physical discipline. You know what I mean? I kind of feel why they wanted to try to rid it from us. I do understand that because you had some parents just going way too far on their children. You see what I'm saying? But I tell my kids all the time, man, about 4 years ago, I said, I'm going to try this new thing that we doing in the millennium. I said, I ain't going to smack y'all up no more. I said that. And I did. I stopped, And the Lord had to grab my hand a lot of times because I be thinking about doing it. But I tell him often, I should have never stopped smacking y'all up. Because when I'm trying to get y'all to learn something, I'm having to repeat it 30 times. And I don't like repeating it 30 times. But if I was to smack you after I said it, you'll remember that smack, which will allow you to remember what the smack was for. You see what I'm saying? Because when I'm working out with my son, he want to be good, but he don't want to work hard. So when it gets hard, he start getting weary. And then he get the little attitudes, and I be ready to smack him. But I don't. But after a while, can't take it no more, I will. But after that, everything is done perfect. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, son, you be making me, you make me do stuff I don't want to do. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like physical discipline. When we start frowning on it, we start calling the police, sending parents to jail for just discipline, I felt like that's how we lost the children.
And it makes it harder for us as adults, period, man. I mean, I remember the time being a high school student athlete and the coach would come in and knock the heck out you, like, snatch you up.
That's another thing. Like how many times you been away from your house and somebody else's parent hit you?
Oh, plenty, man.
And when you got home,
as soon as I got home,
you touch somebody's child now. Touch somebody's child now. They might just bust a cap in you.
You really can't even say much.
Can't even say nothing.
The child might bust a cap in you at this point in time.
Can't even say them kids these days, man. It's different.
I would say that definitely is ones that sticks out to me. So my hat's off to you guys.
Oh, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate
One
it.
thing I can't is a couple things I know I can't do. I can't be the police. I can't be no teacher. And I definitely can't be a doctor. I know I can't be those things. Because if I was a cop, I'd be too quick to shoot somebody. And we'll be talking about it on the news. I don't have the stomach for surgery. And I definitely don't want to deal with a whole bunch of folks' kids. You know what I mean?
Once you start, you'll enjoy it though, man.
For real.
I never thought in a million years I would like teaching, But along with teaching and coaching, I think it's the best decision. I couldn't see myself, doing anything else.
I mean,
really couldn't.
You guys are my heroes, man. I just had the pleasure to do the Black History Month interviews with all the honorees. And, all of those guys are teachers. And just listen to their stories. They are really inspired by their teachers and their coaches. So y'all are my heroes. Cause I tell these people all the time, they be complaining with the schools. I be like, well, what you doing with your child? Because I send my children to school straight.
Right.
They better not get to the school. I better not get no phone call. You see what I'm saying? Because I see these people blaming the teachers and stuff all the time. And it's hard. It's real hard. All right, so, if we had a time machine that would or make it capable to go back in time, if you could go back in time to your high school and change one thing, what would it be?
Oh, he said it too. Football. I would have played football.
You'd play football?
I would have played football. I would have. Yeah, I definitely would have did it.
What you think that would have done for you?
I think at one point in time in my basketball career, I thought I was pro. You know what I'm saying? But just the physical stature and just the athletic ability. Oh yeah, I've been crazy wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
And I think I would have made millions of dollars.
Okay.
I know he would have.
At what position?
Wide receiver.
Okay. Yeah. All right, then. You?
Man, I got a million, but I think the biggest one for me, man, I probably would have ran track all 4 years. My mentor, Coach Ross, he begged me every single year. And, my freshman and sophomore year, I ran from it. And, I ran for 2 years, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had ran for all 4 years, man, I think a lot career-wise would have been totally different.
If I had to change one thing, it still wouldn't play football. My love for basketball just was thicker than anything. Like right now, that's my therapy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like basketball is how I create every avenue that I get into. Like I use basketball moves in my mind to adjust my emotions. You understand what I'm saying? Like if I feel like me and this dude got a problem, instead of me, taking a frustrated me to him, I just play him in my mind, chop him up real good. Now I can talk to him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like I use basketball to adjust every emotion in my life. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't even know what kind of life I would live if I wasn't able to play it. You see what I'm saying? Like I'll be 42 this year. I'm still playing.
Right.
I hope that when I turn 52, I'm still playing. But I don't know. But I just know when the time comes and I don't have basketball, I don't know how my mind gonna hold together. Because that's how I hold myself together with basketball. So the coaches couldn't get me to do nothing other than play basketball. And plus my basketball coach was like, he didn't care for us to do anything other than play basketball. He wasn't encouraging us to do other stuff. You know what I'm saying? He said, you're going to be a basketball player, do it 24/7. And I was already doing that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if I had to change one thing, I would lift weights because I was scrawny all the way up top about 23. Yeah, so I feel like if I had to lifted weights from the 9th grade up, I'd be making millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Seriously though. All right, I'll come back to this later. Oh yeah, how do y'all? I noticed y'all said y'all get support from your class. What about the remaining of the city? The entire city, not just your 1999 class. Like, how much support do you get from the entire community, the entire city?
It's been a blessing, man. Going into the program that I took over at Spalding, man, I was nervous as all get out because, the community's always been just pretty much Griffin. It's always been Griffin. And going across town, being an alumni from Griffin, and then going across town, I was nervous about that. But I mean,
Now,
I had an outpour of support.
Now I've had a little short conversation with him before you got here about that situation. Is that something that you feel free to talk about? Not really. I mean, I don't mind because you know.
I don't mind it at all, man.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'll let you get to that, but I kind of want to let him elaborate on that a little bit. Because I do know he said that you went to Griffin, you played, you graduated, and you coached, but you are now at Spalding.
Yep.
How did that happen?
So, you know, I got my first job offer in 2007 after I got cut from the Jets. And, you know, I coached under Steve DeVorsey from 07 to 12. Then it wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't like it didn't work out between he and I, but, you know, I just wanted to grow as a coach. And I moved down Orlando. So I was there for like 3 years. Then I came back to help one of my college teammates. And, you know, I coached at Central Carrollton for 1 year. And then one of my close friends, Antonio Andrews, he got the job the following year. And he wanted me to help him kick the program and, you know, kick it back off. So I came and, you know, got back involved. And then year after year, man, it's been coaching change after coaching change. And I always got overlooked. Every time it was time, you know, for a different coach to come, somebody, you know, would always take the job, and I just got overlooked. And at the end of the day, you know, I ain't mad. I felt like, you know, it made me who I am. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how it is without me being...
and he's doing an awesome job, let me say that.
I appreciate that, my boy.
Awesome job.
I appreciate it.
But do you still have the G in your heart?
Man, I don't care what happens, man. The one thing about that, no matter what, you always believe, you know, green and gold, man.
Yeah, that's good. Just the community support.
It's been, you know, it's been a roller coaster this year. You know what I'm saying? Not with the, you know, with the community support, but just with, you know, the basketball, just trying to find our way. But the city been a blessing, man. I love my city, man. Anybody that know me know I love my city. You know what I'm saying? But last Wednesday, hey, man, the city showed up and they showed out.
Yeah.
There was our 6 man that game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's another short conversation we had before he got here. If we can just dive into that just a little bit real quick. I seen the things on social media. It reminded me of us when, you know, we was going to the state championship. Like, it was our first time and everything. And I know that our town tends to stay at each other's throats. And I know y'all are familiar with that. And being in the community that kind of always at each other's throat. But for that moment, or that time frame of the moment, everybody came as one.
Oh, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And went everywhere, to every single game. Like, I know we went to every game. I almost felt like we wanted a fight to break out just to see how we would dominate.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Really
Because it was just that many of us, and I just watching everybody from Griffin post it. You know, it just felt good to see that happening again, real close to home. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's not our team, it's just, you know, I feel like for whatever reason, Thomason and Griffin has this weird connection.
Right.
You know,
this when I
love,
was playing, man, I was there.
yeah, you know, this love-hate relationship. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, we can't play each other without the intensity being extremely high.
Right.
To where almost a fight break out. If not, a fight does break out. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe the last time.
It was a situation.
I'm talking about the last time before then, when a young man, last name was Brown. He was about 6'4", 6'5".
Oh, you talking about...
It might have been 06, 07, somewhere, 08, somewhere in the area.
You talking about Brown? You talking about Jay Brown?
Jay Brown.
Yeah.
You talking about Jay Brown?
Yeah, he came to town, and we was in a dog fight. We was beating Griffin, but they made a comeback, right? But the players wasn't into each other. It was like some fans got into it. And boy, did they tear that gym up. And they banned us from playing Griffin for a long time. And our first time being able to play Griffin again was when my nephew them came to Griffin. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's a moment.
Right.
And I see everybody, like you said, you seeing different videos, and I'm watching all of them too, because that's how it was for us, and it just feels good, like, to see that, man.
Yeah, it was
You know what
dope,
I'm saying?
man. It was dope, man. I can't even put it into words just how dope it was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we was talking about, every day it's a new clip or a new angle, you know what I'm saying? That we have to go back and watch, but it was magic, man. You know what I'm saying? It was dope. I can't even really explain it.
How far along do you think it'll be before you taste that type of victory?
Man, I don't know, man. I'm the type of person, I never like to put it out there if I can't, just stamp it. But I think this year's gonna be a special one, man. Biggest reason, man, this is my this senior class. That's the first group that's been with me the entire time.
Okay.
So, this is going into my fourth
So
year.
they all the way bought into the culture.
They already bought in.
And they can help trickle it down to the guys
No doubt.
coming in. Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to. And, I just feel like it's gonna be a big year for us.
I hope so, man. I hope so. Anything to bring the community back together, you know what I'm saying? For real. If you could give parents to understand one thing, what would it be?
I got a lot, but
We can go on and on and on.
What's the most important thing you would like for parents to understand?
that I think a lot of parents see the finished product.
Right.
They don't see the in between. They don't see the work or the work that you gotta put in to actually achieve those goals. And then like misinformation, man. And some parents just don't know. Some just don't know.
They just don't know. I know about that.
Don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they see what they see on TV. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they see. So they think it's supposed to happen.
Or social media.
Or social media.
Yeah.
But it don't happen like that, man. It don't work like that.
You want to elaborate on that, or you agree with that?
And I want to elaborate a little bit, man. One of my coaching buddies, Will Orban, he had this little saying, and every single day since I've been a head coach, I live by that. When the parents want to come and attack me or the other coaches, they got to understand what you do for a living. That's what you do for a living.
Right.
We spend a lot of time on our craft and pouring into your kids.
Mm-hmm.
You freaking, sell cars at Hennessy Cadillac. What does Coach Kearney look like coming up to Hennessy Cadillac and trying to tell you how to sell cars?
Right.
I look like a complete idiot.
Right.
I'm not a salesman.
Right.
So when it comes to the coaching, let the coaches coach.
Right.
Trust the coaching and let us do what we do.
Right.
I feel like that's very important, man. Don't tell me how to coach.
Mm-hmm. Let me say one thing to the parents, if I may, because this stuff goes in this barbershop all the time. I listen to parents all the time, man. Let me tell the parents something. If you want to help your coach, let me ask you a question, parents. What are you doing with your children before they even get to the coach? Okay? Because you can't be the kind of parent that hasn't done anything to develop your child's skill set and expect coaches to all of a sudden magically sprinkle the skill set on them. It just don't happen. You have to do the work. And they only allowed to work with them for a certain amount of time. Okay? So what are they doing when the coaches cannot work with them? That's on you, parents. I spent countless hours and days with my nephew. That's probably why we are best friends. You know what I'm saying? He spent less time at practice than he did with me. He spent all of his time with me in a gym. So when he got to the gym, his trainers and his coaches didn't have much to tell him because he was already ready. So if you're the kind of parent that hasn't done anything for your child to have him prepared, just sit back and let the coaches do what they do. Because I'm going to tell you something. I watched Trayvon Walker's parents mold him, take him to all of these places, out of state, around the corner, up the road, down the road. I watched them. They put this young man in the position to where his coaches could just easily stick him on that field and let him do what he do. So parents, if you ain't doing nothing at the house with your children, if you're not taking them to a trainer, paying a trainer to develop their skill set, just sit back and relax and let these guys do their job, all right? Would y'all agree with that?
No doubt.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right, Willie. You got 2 daughters, man. Both of them D1 talent. How does that feel?
I'm super proud, man. I mean, I'm super proud of them. I mean, you know, it's in their blood, man. But they work for it though, man. You know, they put the time in. They put the countless. You know what
Yeah, I know.
man.
Yeah.
They put the time in. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, the biggest goal was to get a free education. So they achieved that, man. You know, well, Samia is still achieving that, but in Deja, you know, she just graduated with her master's. Salute you, baby girl.
Yeah.
Salute you.
That's big.
But yeah, for real. But and so you know, Samia following her path. You know, that's her big sister. She want to outdo her big sister.
Yeah.
So you know, they're just the competitiveness in us. But
Yeah.
hey, man, I'm super proud, man.
Yeah. And I can definitely relate to that. I had the hoop dreams. I just told my parents, you know, when I graduated high school, y'all guys ain't gonna have to work no more. That didn't happen. All right. So to see my nephew get all of these accomplishments that I didn't get, it's like I'm getting them. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting them through him.
Right.
So I'm not just, you ever heard the term where people be like, I don't like parents that live through their children.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that. I live through my nephew. I don't force him to do something I want him to do.
Right.
But his success, I own his success with him. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I do live through him. When he succeeds, I'm happy, man.
Right.
I have a great day. You know what I'm saying? So I live through my nephew, like, you know what I'm saying? I live through my kid. You know what I mean? So I feel where you coming from. I can definitely relate to that. What is the difference between coaching girls and boys?
I want to coach a one boy team my whole life, but it's different, man. You know, you gotta with young ladies, you gotta cater to their feelings, their emotions. I can rough a little ball up. You know what I'm saying? They're just being for real. You know what I'm saying? I can rough them up. I can talk to them in a certain type of way. But you know, I it's different with females.
Right.
I got daughters. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I can only imagine how other people. I know how I would feel if my daughter came home and said, "Dad, you know how complaining how the coach talked to her and all that." So it's a little bit more delicate situation. You know what I'm saying? But
Do you think the fact that you have daughters made it easier?
yeah, I really do.
Yeah.
I know what buttons to push
Right.
in certain areas to stay out of. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it definitely helped me.
I'm asking that because I saw how far deep Kobe had got into his daughter's basketball career. But he didn't have a choice. He didn't have no boy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, he was into it, so I do know that I did want to see if having daughters made it easier. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of, I use them as, when I have certain situations, I can use them because I was in the situation with them. So I can always go backtrack and think about, okay, how did I deal with this situation with, Deja, or how did I deal with this with Samia? And then I could, but it definitely helped me. It definitely helped me.
What is Team H2O?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that question. Team H2O Elite. Hungry, humble, and overlooked. An organization that one of my dear friends, my brother Trevor Berry, approached me with it. You know what I'm saying? We sat down, we talked about it. He said, "Hey man, let's start our own team. You know what I'm saying? Let's do something different." So got together, man, him and his wife, Shalonda Berry. They're the directors. And then we, my wife is on the staff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Puckett, my right hand man, my left hand man, Michael Williams and Kia Thomas. We all, coaching staff. We just wanted to do something different, man. For me, I think the biggest thing was what I saw, the difference between when I played AAU to now. It got lost somewhere where it wasn't about the girls or the boys anymore. It was more so about the coaches and, just for me, it was the ego. Mm-hmm. And, at the end of the day, man, if the players ain't playing, you can't coach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for us, we created it to make it back to where it
back to its natural
roots.
roots. Yeah.
Back to the players, man. So that's where Team A2O come from, man. So, we out here.
I know you said, you have to deal with the young ladies' emotions, different emotions. Like, is that the toughest? Like, that's the most challenging thing when coaching girls?
Yeah, for me, yes, to a certain extent. But, we have female staff that, if y'all have questions, go talk to them. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, not saying you can't come talk to us, but you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of stuff, man, that, they can relate better than we can.
Right. Okay. All right, Carl, I'm gonna dive right into you right now, if that's okay. All right, you was a receiver in high school. The program didn't pass the ball much. Neither does Upson Lee. Let me say that. You was a receiver at Georgia Southern, and they don't pass the ball much. How did you make it into the NFL?
Man, first of all, man, I was extremely blessed, man. I had a praying mom, praying dad. Shout out to my pastor, my pastor's wife. They always constantly prayed for me, man. But it was just weird, man. I worked hard, worked my tail off on special teams, man, and I did everything in my power to stand out on special teams because, like you said, we didn't throw the ball as much, so I had to find another route.
Okay. Was you able to like work out with teams?
Yeah, man. So I thought it was all over. My senior year, I broke my foot week six or so, and broke my foot. Thought it was done, man, and rehab my tail off, and I was fortunate enough. I had 19 scouts to come down my pro day.
Okay.
And, I had a pretty damn good pro day.
Tell us about the NFL, man. What is that like? Like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Wow.
It's a lot that I can go into detail about, but I think the difference is, just seeing people that you see on TV every single day, competing against guys that you used to sit back and just watch them on TV and then be in the locker room, just look up and that was the weirdest part for me that first day, man. Mm-hmm. They told us at that little, rookie center, like, don't be starstruck. Like, just hold your composure and just know who you are. Yeah. And I walked in the locker room. I was fine at first, man, but I just remember when I saw Curtis Martin for the first time. My roommate was sitting beside me. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the weirdest part for me, though.
So, when you got the head coaching job, did they already have a staff in place, or did they give you the opportunity to bring your own guys in?
No, I had like pretty much they told me to bring in whoever I wanted. So I just wanted to start off fresh, and I kept my offensive line coach, Coach Thomas Hoffman. I kept him and brought him in as offensive coordinator. But everybody else I brought in.
Mm-hmm. And then some of these teammates from high school?
No. So Coach, my defensive coordinator, he's now leaving. He's going to be the head coach at Jackson. Shout out to my boy, Chris Henderson. He, I knew him from track and field, so I trusted him, and I gave him the DC job. But the rest of the guys, these were my boys, just like me and Puck. Luke Shire, I played high school football with him. He was my quarterback. Mm-hmm. Soriano Fennessy, he played receiver with me in high school. And the rest of the guys, I actually coached those guys at Griffin.
Okay.
All right. That was the best part for me.
What's it like to have a guy on your coaching staff that you used to coach?
Now it's fine now, but, I felt like year one, it was hard. It was a hard pill to swallow, man. Just looking at, Stephon Harper, Ty Turner. I'm just looking at those guys. I used to, jack them up, yell and scream, and now they're on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And as soon as I get on them for being too hard or saying something to the kids that I don't agree with or don't like, Coach, that's how you did us. Mm-hmm. So they constantly remind me how I was as a 26-year-old coach, But it's a blessing to have them on staff, though.
Okay. Is the track team, is it a special situation going on with the track team?
Special as in what?
Like, are they, state contenders?
I hope and pray. The biggest problem I'm having right now, we're in transition of losing, my girls coach.
Okay.
The coach that I was just telling you, Coach Henderson. Anytime that happens, man, kids believe in that one coach, you know what I mean? And I'm the other coach. I'm the boys coach and he's the girls coach. I feel like we got a talented group on both sides, but that's a huge hit when you lose somebody like that. Mm-hmm. He's been around for 3 years and it kind of took the air out of the kids. So right now, just got to get everybody to settle down, move forward and see what the next move is. But it's all up in the air right
Okay.
now. Just depends on what the kids do.
What is 4-3-3?
4-3-3.
Pound.
Oh, that's so that's the address of where we at.
Okay.
433 Wilson Road.
All right.
Yep.
So, because that was on the title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just didn't know what that was.
Nah.
Okay, so all right. So I heard you say year 1 was hard, but year 2, what's that about?
What's that now?
You said you said year 1 was a hard year.
Oh, year 1, yeah.
Yeah.
So year 1, I mean, it was the hardest year of my life. It really was, because I walked into a tough situation. We won. Well, the team before had won one ball game.
Right.
Then the following year, I had to get the kids to believe in the program, and we went 1-9 again. But then that following year, that's when I started to see things change, and we won 8 ball games, and the kids started to believe. And it had been a while that winning tradition had, it was there prior to that, but it had went down for a while.
So that leads back to the old question I asked at the beginning. The chances of year 3. Is this year 3?
Just going into year 4.
Going into year 3. Year 4.
Going into year 4.
The progression continues to rise.
Oh, no doubt. I'm proud of my guys every single day. I'm watching those young men. Some come in as just babies, or as our coaches just call them puppies.
Okay.
I watched them come in their freshman year, buy into the program, and every single year get better. And now we're going into their, I got 24, 25 seniors.
Okay.
So I'm watching those guys get into position to put us where we can make a deep run.
Okay. All right. So.
Hopefully follow suit and band.
Oh yeah. I'd love to see it, man. I'd love to see it.
But I'm proud of my boy, man. They did an extremely good job, man.
I mean, I would just love to see it just for the other program to understand on what they missed out on, man. You know what I'm saying? But at this particular time, we're gonna play a hypothetical moment. All right. Hypothetically, you're gonna got fired from being a coach. Your next job is sports analyst. Okay, so we're gonna do a little sports analysis right now.
Okay.
So we're gonna play like we sports analysts. Okay. All right. So, what were your predictions about the Super Bowl? Were you wrong, or were you right, and why?
So I was actually right, and I had put all my money on Patrick Mahomes, man. I just knew that offense was too explosive, and I put my money on him, and I was correct.
Yeah. So him being there versus the other guy that Mahomes been there before, and the other guy hasn't. You felt like that was more safer bet.
I thought that was, probably gave him the edge, and then, like I said, that offense got hot at the right time, and then the defense was playing pretty good. Then along with that, the head coach had been there.
Now, I don't know nothing about football, okay? So I'm asking you, 'cause I don't have a doggone clue, okay? So, did you have any predictions about the Super Bowl?
I mean, I actually did, but I was more so focused on high school basketball.
At the time.
I wanted Philly to win.
Oh,
I wanted
okay.
Philly to win.
All right.
But I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't watch football.
So you didn't know.
I was, hey man, Lady Bears, man. That's all I was focused on.
Okay.
That's all I was focused on.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll ask this question for you. Who do you think is going to win the NBA championship this year, and why?
I don't know, man. To be honest with you, it's I think it's up in the air, but I'm going to give it to Golden State. I'm going to give it to Golden State this year.
Because you got to beat them.
You got to beat them, man. You got to beat them.
That's a 7-game series.
You got to beat them. You got to beat them.
And that's the perfect 7-game series team.
Yep.
I don't think the Warriors get enough credit for the type of defense that they play. Right. I don't think that people don't understand how their offense flows from the defense. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right. Because those 2 years my nephew them was winning all them games, they got so much credit for their offensive ability.
Defense.
Nobody never paid attention to what made them special. It was their defense. They ran half-court offense probably 20% of the game. 80% of the game, it was all fast breaks. Hence the running nights. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think people give the Warriors credit for their defense. You're talking about a group that'll defend you and will flat out shoot it on you. Now you're dealing with a team that'll defend you and outshoot you. That's a hard team to beat in a 7-game round.
7-game series.
You know what I'm saying? So I would have to agree with you there. I would love for it to be my Lakers.
But
we got so many ups and downs. I'm not expecting LeBron James to carry us. I'm sorry, Laker fans. I know you want LeBron to carry us. I am not upset with LeBron. He had given us everything we could ask for. Before he showed up, we was nothing to talk about.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? Since he been on our team, we at the top of the conversation, winning or losing.
Regardless.
And he brought us a championship. Come on, man. Right. We can't be mad at LeBron, but I would love for it to be the Lakers.
Can you ask for? Come on, man.
Exactly. At the tail end of his career, man. He could have spent the rest of his next 4 years in Cleveland just jerking around.
Right.
You know? All right, so favorite football team. Why?
I knew that was coming. I just knew that was coming. But I guess I'm going to have to shamefully say the Dallas Cowboys.
Why are you shamefully saying it?
Just because, man, you get caught in all the hype, from freaking May all the way up until August, and you see the off-season transactions, and every year, man, you get let down. You hear all this stuff behind the scenes, man. This going to be the year for Dallas. It's going to be the year, and no matter what, we find a way to blow it, bro.
So who do you argue with the most? Falcon fans or some other kind?
No, like really the Falcons fans, they don't have much to argue about.
Right, but,
so,
but they always
they find a way to try to make an argument, but the Falcons fans right now, they don't have much to argue about. So I don't have really that many issues with them. I will tell you this, most of the Philly fans, I catch a lot of grief from Philly fans.
Okay. All right, so that's not, you don't have that problem.
For me?
Yeah.
As far as with
what's your favorite NBA team?
Listen, see, a lot of people think that I became a Laker fan with LeBron.
Right.
To the Lakers. But I've been a Laker fan, man. Go back and look at my bio in my college. I've been a Laker fan, man, for a long time. I used to talk mad trash. Hey, man, I used to talk mad trash on Facebook, but I don't talk that much no more. I don't talk that much no more. I sit back, I see all the comments. I be wanting to comment, but I'm like, you know what, I'm stay out of this one.
What is your lasting comment to end the argument? When you just say you through with the argument, I'm gonna say this and I'm out.
You know what? It ain't nothing necessarily that I say, but I always bring up, well, let us play one-on-one and see. I bet you can't beat me in basketball, you know what I'm saying? So
for me, it's the 17 championships, okay? Talk to me when your team gets 7 of them.
7.
Okay, we still 10 ahead of you.
Right.
So that's how I like to end the conversation because I'm a Laker fan too, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like you, I'm not on social media. Yes, we are down to the end. All right, we just left Black History Month. What's the lasting impact you want to leave on your community? Like when you're no longer alive and they look back as a whole, what do you want to be your lasting memory?
Man, that's tough.
Yeah, I know.
And we've had, so many guys, and I ain't gonna say that have passed, but like there's Qualls, like
Right.
there's lasting memories, man. When I go to thinking about Coach Qualls, like I said, I didn't even play basketball, but we could sit down, me and all the former basketball players, and all of us, we'd just sit back and mock him. Line for line. He'll start it off and then I'll finish it.
It's crazy, man.
But, I mean, if that was the case for me, I would really I wanted to be to where not so much the kids would just remember the funny stuff, but I just always wanted to be remembered as a guy who cared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No matter what, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to help the community, whether it be green and gold, you know what I mean, whether it be blue and silver. And I catch a lot of flack for being across town, but the weird part about it, the ones that know and the ones that matter to me, they already know, man, this doesn't mean nothing to me, man, when it comes to the city of Griffin.
Right.
Like, when it comes to me, 100%, there's 1 week that I don't support the green and gold.
Right.
And that's when we're playing. You know what I mean? And even with that being said, I still, no matter what, I would never do anything to jeopardize that man. I never do anything to jeopardize nobody else there. You know, my city is my city, and I'm 100% behind it.
That's an impact.
I just, I mean, I don't know, man. I want to be remembered for not necessarily being, you know, a basketball coach, but just I want to always be around. I want to always, I want to be a Coach Ross. You know what I'm saying? I want to be, my ultimate goal is to be Coach Ross. You know what I'm saying? If you know Coach Ross, you know him. He's around, he's been around. You know what I'm saying? My mother, he taught my mom. You know what I'm saying? He's still around. He's teaching my dog. You know what I'm saying? He's around. And it's always, you know, when he's around, it reminds me of the good old days. It reminds me of Coach Qualls. You know what I'm saying? It reminds me every time I talk to him, you know, I hear Coach Qualls through him. But just, you know, the biggest thing, I think one of the things, I gotta say this, is I always want to leave a mark. And what better way is than this, you know, by the Lady Bears winning the state championship. One of the things that I always talk about, and they can tell you, is, you know, I want to be on the wall, man. You know what I'm saying? And they went and did it for me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So just being remembered, like I just want to be around. I want to always, for the community, man, for Griffin, I am Griffin. You know what I'm saying? He is Griffin. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, when they see me, when I'm old, and you know what I'm saying, they gonna always, man, he been around, man. He, you know, because I care about the city, man. We care about the city. So
I mean, it's apparently you do. You know what I'm saying? You're so far into it. You nurturing and taking care of the children that they put in your hands. Like, again, it's something I said I cannot do. You know what I'm saying? I probably could. I'm gonna say this. I don't want to. I'm not interested in it at all. I want a statue. Yeah, I want a statue. I don't care if you're a group of people sitting around having memorable conversations about me. I want a statue. Yeah, I want y'all to put a statue of the Faginator right up there on the town square, and with a really big smile on my face, with a pair of clippers in one hand and basketball in the other hand. I want a statue. I'm telling y'all this now. It's documented now on this podcast. When I die, I want a statue at the square. Now, I know it's going to be a little hard for y'all to do because y'all ain't got no statue of nobody up there. Well, it ain't never been nobody as special as me. Now's the perfect time to put a statue up of somebody. It might as well just going to be me. So I want a statue. I want that to be my lasting memory. You know what I'm saying? Because Sylvester Stallone is not a professional boxer, but yet and still he has a statue in Philadelphia with some gloves on and some boxing shorts. You know what I'm saying? I want me a statue, and I want a statue of Daryl Lockhart beside me. Okay? Make sure y'all do that. Gentlemen, I appreciate y'all coming on.
I gotta say one thing before we get off.
Okay.
Man, shout out to Griffin Lady Bears. I love y'all. I don't want to get emotional, but I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. And to my coaching staff, hey man, y'all the awesome. Y'all the best. That's it. That's all I got.
All right. I appreciate y'all coming and watching this. Comment on it. I love to respond to that stuff, or just see me in the streets. Y'all see these men in the streets. Y'all come up and talk to them. They're really good men. And I love this podcast. I hope that we get a whole lot of views. And hopefully next year we can have Carl come back and tell us about the state championship that he's won. You know what I'm saying? And appreciate you coming, man.
Appreciate it.
All right. Check.